Do you always say simple words like, I'm happy or I'm sad when you talk about your emotions? If yes, it's time to upgrade your emotional vocabulary. In English, there are many vivid and colorful expressions that can help you describe your feelings more naturally, just like native speakers do. In this lesson, we'll explore 50 powerful emotional phrases grouped by feeling types so that you can express yourself with precision, confidence, and authenticity. Let's begin with our first category, joy and contentment. These phrases are used when you feel happy, cheerful, or deeply satisfied. They will help you go beyond just saying, I'm happy, and make your happiness sound more real and expressive. Phrase 1. On cloud 9. This phrase means to feel extremely happy or joyful, as if you're floating high in the sky. It's used when something wonderful happens, the kind of happiness that makes you smile all day without realizing it. For instance, you could say, when I got my dream job, I was on cloud 9. Or, she was on cloud 9 after she won the dance competition. You can even say, he felt on cloud 9 when his parents told him how proud they were of him. It's not just happiness, it's the kind of joy that makes your world feel brighter. Phrase 2. Over the moon. This expression means you're extremely delighted or excited about something, often after receiving good news or achieving something important. Imagine the feeling of pure excitement, like you could jump over the moon because you're so happy. For example, I was over the moon when I finally reached 10,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. You could also say, they were over the moon when their daughter got accepted into her dream college. Or, she felt over the moon after hearing that her English had improved so much. It's a lovely way to describe joyful excitement. Phrase 3. A breath of fresh air. This phrase is used to describe someone or something that feels new, refreshing, or positive after a period of stress or dullness. It's like stepping outside after being in a stuffy room. Suddenly, everything feels lighter and better. For instance, after a week of hard work, a walk in the park was a real breath of fresh air. You can also say, her cheerful attitude is such a breath of fresh air in the office. Or, that new TV show is a breath of fresh air compared to all the usual dramas. You can use this phrase for people, ideas, or experiences that bring positivity and relief. Phrase 4. In high spirits. This means you're feeling cheerful, energetic, and full of positivity. When someone is in high spirits, they're happy and enthusiastic, often because something good is happening or they're surrounded by good vibes. For example, the students were in high spirits after finishing their final exams. You could also say, everyone was in high spirits at the wedding reception. Or, even though it was raining, the crowd stayed in high spirits during the concert. It's a perfect phrase to describe lighthearted happiness shared by many people. Phrase 5. Walking on sunshine. This phrase is used when someone is radiantly happy and carefree, as if nothing can spoil their mood. It paints a picture of someone glowing with positivity and joy, literally walking on sunlight. You might say, ever since her promotion, she's been walking on sunshine. Or, he was walking on sunshine after his team won the final match. Another example, after receiving so many kind messages from her viewers, She felt like she was walking on sunshine all week. This phrase captures that beautiful, warm happiness that makes you feel unstoppable. Phrase 6. Tickled pink. This expression means to feel delighted or amused by something, often in a light-hearted or playful way. When someone says they're tickled pink, they're genuinely pleased, maybe even a little surprised by the joy. For instance, I was tickled pink when my friend remembered my favorite coffee order. You could also say, Grandma was tickled pink to receive handmade cards from her grandchildren. Or, he was tickled pink by all the sweet comments on his new video. It's a wonderful way to express gentle, cheerful happiness. Phrase 7. Full of the joys of spring. This phrase is used to describe someone who is very happy, energetic, and full of life, just like nature in springtime. It's often used when someone's mood seems contagious and uplifting. For example, she came into the office full of the joys of spring after her weekend trip. Or, he's always full of the joys of spring in the mornings, even before coffee. You can also say, after the good news, the whole family was full of the joys of spring. It paints a lovely image of bright, cheerful energy. Phrase 8. On top of the world. This means you feel extremely happy, confident, and successful, as if you're standing on the highest peak and nothing can bring you down. It's the kind of happiness that comes with a sense of pride or achievement. For instance, after finishing her first marathon, she felt on top of the world. You could say, he was on top of the world when his business finally took off. Or, I felt on top of the world when my students told me they passed their exams. It's joy mixed with fulfillment, true emotional elevation. Phrase 9. Like a kid in a candy store. This phrase means to be extremely excited or thrilled by something, especially when surrounded by things you love. It describes the pure, childlike joy of being overwhelmed with happiness. For example, when she entered the bookstore, she looked like a kid in a candy store. You might say, he was like a kid in a candy store trying all the new tech gadgets. Or, I felt like a kid in a candy store exploring London for the first time. It's a fun and expressive way to show excitement and wonder. Phrase 10. Grinning from ear to ear. This phrase means to smile broadly and happily, so much that your smile stretches across your face. It's used when someone's joy is visible and uncontrollable. For instance, he was grinning from ear to ear after getting the job. You could also say, she was grinning from ear to ear when she saw her birthday surprise. Or, the children were grinning from ear to ear as they opened their gifts. It's the perfect image of unfiltered happiness. If you're enjoying these expressions and learning new ways to sound more natural in English, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon, so you never miss more lessons like this one. Now, let's explore a very different side of emotions: anger, frustration, and annoyance. These phrases help you express irritation or anger without repeating, "I'm angry." They show shades of emotion, from mild annoyance to deep frustration, in a natural way. Phrase 11. Seeing red. This phrase means to be extremely angry, so furious that it feels like everything turns red before your eyes. It describes the kind of anger that comes suddenly and powerfully. For example, he was seeing red when he found out someone scratched his car. Or, she saw red after being blamed for something she didn't do. You can also say, I was seeing red when my computer crashed right before my presentation. It's a dramatic but very expressive way to talk about anger. Phrase 12. At my wit's end. This means to be completely frustrated or out of patience. You've tried everything, and nothing seems to work. It's perfect for those moments when you feel mentally exhausted. You might say, I'm at my wit's end trying to fix this internet problem. Or, she was at her wit's end dealing with her noisy neighbors. Another example, parents are often at their wit's end when their kids won't listen. It captures that feeling of helpless frustration. Phrase 13. Getting under my skin. This phrase means something or someone is really annoying you or bothering you repeatedly. It's not full anger. It's that slow, constant irritation that builds up. For example, his constant humming is really getting under my skin. Or, that repetitive sound is starting to get under my skin. You can also say, she tries to stay calm, but rude comments always get under her skin. It's subtle but powerful, perfect for expressing mild annoyance. Phrase 14. Blowing a fuse. This means suddenly losing your temper or getting very angry. It's like your patience breaks, just like a fuse that bursts when overloaded. For instance, he blew a fuse when his team missed the deadline again. You might say, my dad blew a fuse when he saw the messy kitchen. Or, she almost blew a fuse when the printer stopped working right before class. It's informal and vivid, a great phrase for describing sudden anger. Phrase 15. Fed up. When you're fed up, it means you're tired, irritated, or done with something that keeps happening. You're not necessarily angry, just completely over it. You could say, I'm fed up with people being late all the time. Or, she was fed up with hearing the same excuses from her coworkers. Another example, he's fed up with this endless traffic every morning. It's one of the most natural, everyday ways to express frustration. Phrase 16. Hot under the collar. This phrase means feeling embarrassed or angry, especially when someone has said or done something that annoys you. You can imagine your collar area heating up. That's how irritated or uncomfortable you feel. For example, he got a bit hot under the collar when someone questioned his decision. You could also say, she gets hot under the collar whenever people interrupt her. Or, he was hot under the collar after that awkward comment during the meeting. It's a great phrase for polite yet expressive storytelling. Phrase 17. Boiling with anger. When someone is boiling with anger, it means they are extremely angry but trying hard not to explode. It's the kind of quiet, intense fury that simmers beneath the surface. For instance, she was boiling with anger when her friend betrayed her trust. You might say, he stood there, boiling with anger, but said nothing. Or, I was boiling with anger when they blamed me for something I didn't do. It's a vivid way to describe strong but controlled anger. Phrase 18. Blow off steam. This phrase means to release built-up anger, stress, or frustration by doing something physical or relaxing. It's what we do to calm ourselves down. For example, after the argument, I went for a long walk to blow off some steam. Or, He plays basketball every weekend to blow off steam. You could also say, she was frustrated after work, so she listened to music to blow off steam. It's a positive, natural expression because we all need to release pressure sometimes. Phrase 19. Drive me up the wall. If something drives you up the wall, it means it's making you very irritated or annoyed, little by little. You can almost imagine yourself trying to climb a wall out of frustration. For instance, the constant noise from the street drives me up the wall. You could also say, it drives me up the wall when people chew loudly. Or, her bad internet connection is driving her up the wall again. It's one of the most common ways to express irritation in spoken English. Phrase 20. At boiling point. This means you're at the edge of your patience, just about to lose control because the situation has gone too far. It's that moment right before an emotional explosion. You might say, after hours of waiting, the crowd was at boiling point. Or, she reached boiling point after being interrupted for the 10th time. Another example, I was already at boiling point when he started complaining again. This phrase captures that crucial, final stage of frustration. And those were 10 powerful ways to express anger and frustration in English, all natural, vivid, and full of emotion. Now let's shift to something more sensitive and heartfelt: sadness, disappointment, and worry. These phrases help you describe moments of pain, sadness, or anxiety, beyond just saying, I'm sad or I'm worried. They add depth and honesty to your expression. Phrase 21. Down in the dumps. This phrase means feeling sad, low, or depressed, usually for a while. It's used for those gray days when nothing seems to lift your mood. For instance, I've been feeling down in the dumps since my project got rejected. Or, he's down in the dumps because he lost his favorite watch. You could also say, she gets down in the dumps whenever it rains. It's perfect for describing quiet, everyday sadness. Phrase 22. Have a heavy heart. When you have a heavy heart, it means you're feeling emotional pain, sorrow, or regret. Your heart feels heavy because something is weighing it down. You might say, I left my hometown with a heavy heart. Or, she spoke with a heavy heart about her childhood memories. Another example, he accepted the decision with a heavy heart but knew it was for the best. It's a deeply emotional way to express inner sadness. Phrase 23. Brokenhearted. This phrase is used when someone feels deep emotional pain, often from loss or heartbreak. It's not just sadness, it's the ache of something you truly cared about. For example, she was brokenhearted after her best friend moved away. You can say, he felt brokenhearted when his dog passed away. Or, they were brokenhearted when their favorite teacher retired. It expresses love and loss beautifully. Phrase 24. Crying over spilled milk. This idiom means feeling sad or upset about something that has already happened and cannot be changed. It's a gentle reminder to move on. You might say, there's no point crying over spilled milk. Let's fix it and move forward. Or, he kept blaming himself, but she told him not to cry over spilled milk. Another example, I know you're upset, but crying over spilled milk won't help. A useful phrase for encouragement and acceptance. Phrase 25. A lump in my throat. This means feeling emotional to the point where you can't speak, usually because of sadness or nostalgia. It's that tight feeling we get before tears fall. For instance, I had a lump in my throat during the farewell speech. Or, hearing that old song gave me a lump in my throat. You could also say, she felt a lump in her throat while reading the letter. It's gentle, heartfelt, and beautifully expressive. Phrase 26. Blue. When someone says, I'm feeling blue, it means they're feeling a little sad or lonely. It's a simple, soft way to talk about melancholy. You might say, I'm feeling a bit blue today. Maybe I just need some rest. Or, he always feels blue when the holidays end. Another example, listening to that slow music makes me feel blue. It's short, poetic, and easy to remember. Phrase 27. In low spirits. This phrase means to feel discouraged or lacking motivation. Not necessarily crying, but emotionally drained. It's useful when you want to sound calm, yet honest. For instance, she's been in low spirits since she lost her job. Or, he seemed in low spirits after the argument. You could also say, I was in low spirits for a few days, but I'm feeling better now. It's polite and natural in both spoken and written English. Phrase 28. Heart sinks. When your heart sinks, it means you suddenly feel disappointed or sad about something. It's that moment when your excitement turns to worry or sadness. For example, my heart sank when I realized I had missed the deadline. You could also say, her heart sank when she saw the exam questions. Or, his heart sank as the plane was delayed again. It's short but emotionally powerful. Phrase 29. Downhearted. This word means to feel discouraged, sad, or lacking hope. It's often used when something doesn't go as planned. For instance, he was downhearted after failing the interview. Or, don't be downhearted. Tomorrow will be better. You might say, she felt downhearted when no one noticed her effort. It's gentle and compassionate. Phrase 30. Walking on eggshells. This phrase means being extremely careful about what you say or do to avoid upsetting someone. It often shows nervousness or emotional tension. For example, I've been walking on eggshells around my boss lately. You could say, after their argument, everyone at home was walking on eggshells. Or, she feels like she's always walking on eggshells when talking to her parents. It's about worry and emotional caution, a very natural expression. If you've learned new ways to express your emotions so far, make sure you subscribe right now and turn on the bell icon. Because in the next part, we're diving into even deeper emotions like fear and love. Let's continue. These phrases help you express tension, fear, and nervous anticipation, moments when your heart races or your stomach feels tight. Phrase 31. Butterflies in my stomach. This phrase means feeling nervous or excited, often before something important. It's not fear, but anxious anticipation. For example, I had butterflies in my stomach before going on stage. Or, she always gets butterflies in her stomach before exams. Another, he had butterflies in his stomach waiting for her reply. It's one of the most natural ways to describe nervous excitement. Phrase 32. Scared stiff. This means being so frightened that you can't move or react. It's used for sudden, intense fear. You might say, I was scared stiff when I heard strange noises at night. Or, she was scared stiff before her first public speech. Another, he's scared stiff of snakes, even tiny ones. It's simple, vivid, and very common in conversation. Phrase 33. Shake like a leaf. This phrase means trembling with fear or nervousness, just like a leaf moves in the wind. For example, he was shaking like a leaf before his interview. You could also say, she shook like a leaf when she saw the accident. Or, I was shaking like a leaf while watching that horror movie. It gives a clear picture of visible fear. Phrase 34. My heart skipped a beat. This means to feel sudden fear, surprise, or excitement, like your heart momentarily stopped. It can be used for both positive and nervous situations. For instance, my heart skipped a beat when I saw him at the door. Or, her heart skipped a beat when she nearly dropped her phone. Another, when I heard my name announced, my heart skipped a beat. It's emotional, natural, and often used in romantic or tense moments. Phrase 35. Petrified. This means to be so terrified that you can't move or think clearly. It's stronger than afraid. For example, she was petrified of speaking in front of a crowd. You might say, he's petrified of heights. Or, I was petrified when I lost sight of my child in the crowd. It's great for describing real fear. Phrase 36. Scared out of my wits. This means to be extremely frightened, almost to the point of panic. It's informal and dramatic. For instance, that sudden noise scared me out of my wits. Or, she was scared out of her wits during the thunderstorm. You can also say, he was scared out of his wits when the power went out. It adds emotional punch to your storytelling. Phrase 37. Jumpy. If someone is jumpy, they're easily startled or nervous. It's often used for mild, ongoing anxiety. You could say, I've been jumpy since watching that scary movie. Or, he gets jumpy whenever the phone rings late at night. Another example, she's a little jumpy before big presentations. It's short, simple, and natural. Phrase 38. A chill ran down my spine. This phrase describes a sudden, sharp feeling of fear or unease, sometimes even excitement. It's perfect for storytelling. For example, a chill ran down my spine when I heard that strange sound. Or, when I read the ghost story, a chill ran down my spine. Another, as the lights went out, a chill ran down my spine. It's vivid and cinematic. Phrase 39. Break into a cold sweat. This means becoming extremely nervous or scared, often physically sweating because of fear or stress. For instance, he broke into a cold sweat before his big interview. Or, I broke into a cold sweat when the teacher called my name. Another, she broke into a cold sweat while waiting for her exam results. It's perfect for describing tense moments. Phrase 40. My blood ran cold. This means feeling sudden, deep fear, as if your blood literally froze. It's dramatic and emotional. For example, my blood ran cold when I saw the speeding car coming toward us. You could also say, her blood ran cold when she heard the bad news. Or, his blood ran cold after reading that mysterious message. It's a powerful way to express true fright. We've covered fear and nervousness. Now let's balance it with the warmest emotion of all, love, care, and affection. These phrases express warmth, closeness, and emotional connection, perfect for talking about people who make life beautiful. Phrase 41. Head over heels. This means to be completely and deeply in love with someone. It's the image of someone tumbling joyfully because they're so smitten. For instance, he's head over heels in love with her. Or, she fell head over heels for her childhood friend. Another, they're still head over heels after 10 years of marriage. It's a classic romantic expression. Phrase 42. Have a soft spot for someone. This means you have a special affection or fondness for someone, even if they're imperfect. You might say, I've always had a soft spot for my little brother. Or, she has a soft spot for stray animals. Another, he tries to act tough, but he has a soft spot for his friends. It's gentle and kind, perfect for warm relationships. Phrase 43. The apple of my eye. This means someone is extremely precious and loved, the person you cherish the most. For example, her daughter is the apple of her eye. Or, he calls his dog the apple of his eye. Another, you're the apple of my eye, and I'm proud of you. It's poetic and heartfelt. Phrase 44. A match made in heaven. This phrase means two people who are perfectly suited for each other. You might say, they're truly a match made in heaven. Or, everyone says my grandparents were a match made in heaven. Another, the way they support each other makes them look like a match made in heaven. It's ideal for describing deep compatibility. Phrase 45. Get along like a house on fire. This means two people quickly become very close friends and enjoy each other's company. For instance, we met at the workshop and got along like a house on fire. Or, my cousins and I get along like a house on fire during vacations. Another, they got along like a house on fire from the very first day. It's cheerful and friendly. Phrase 46. Be there for someone. This means to support someone emotionally, to stand by them during tough times. For example, she was always there for me when I needed advice. Or, I'll always be there for you no matter what. Another, true friends are the ones who are there for you when life gets hard. It's one of the most heartfelt phrases in English. Phrase 47. Wear your heart on your sleeve. This means showing your emotions openly and honestly, without hiding how you feel. You could say, he wears his heart on his sleeve and never hides his feelings. Or, she's the kind of person who wears her heart on her sleeve. Another, when I'm upset, you can tell, I wear my heart on my sleeve. It's a phrase that celebrates honesty and emotional expression. Phrase 48. Have someone's back. This means to support or defend someone to protect them when needed. For instance, don't worry, I've got your back. Or, true friends always have each other's backs. Another, she knew her family had her back during the hard times. It's loyal, strong, and reassuring. Phrase 49. My better half. This means your husband, wife, or romantic partner, the person who completes you. You could say, I'm cooking dinner for my better half tonight. Or, he always introduces his wife as his better half. Another, she calls her partner her better half because they balance each other perfectly. It's loving and respectful. Phrase 50. Heart of gold. This phrase means someone who is kind, generous, and full of love. It's the perfect way to describe people with pure, caring hearts. For example, she's got a heart of gold, always helping everyone. Or, he may look serious, but he has a heart of gold. Another, people with a heart of gold make the world a better place. It's a timeless expression of goodness. So there you have it, 50 vivid and natural English phrases to express every kind of emotion: joy, anger, sadness, fear, and love. Start using these phrases in your daily conversations, your writing, or even your social media captions. You'll sound more fluent, more expressive, and more authentic every single time. If you found this lesson helpful, make sure to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel for more English learning lessons every week. And tell me in the comments, which phrase was your favorite today? Until next time, keep learning.